So this video is going to be about the Kuva Bramma and what sort of nerfs it's going to be receiving in update 32, which is the upcoming Veilbreaker one starring Carl. Yes, that means this overpowered fireworks machine is going to be downgraded real soon. If you're one of the many who love to abuse this thing, like me, probably want to stick around to see if it's time to start working towards a new favorite weapon. Introduced back in 2020, God, just thinking back to that time frame is kind of traumatizing at this point. Well, the Kuva Bramma was one of several Kuva type weapons implemented as rewards for the Kuva Lich system. I still remember it being shown on a dev stream at the time, I believe, one-shotting groups of enemies even without any mods equipped. It got people excited and was pretty much meta as soon as it got added to the game, and you gotta remember, this was back when self-damage was still a thing. But not for much longer, and that's when the Kuva Bramma usage probably got really out of control. I think about a month later, the self-damage mechanic as we knew it was being rid of in favor of self-stagger as a form of balancing for really powerful explosive weapons in general. You and I know that stagger can be overcome with wonderful mods like primed sure-footed, but with self-damage, not much would save you from a misfired contagion projectile, if you know what I'm saying. Not even a chunky Umbra and Aros. And you guys who've played Warframe for a while like I have are probably still divided on the whole self-damage being removed debacle. Actually, no, it's mostly just butthurt chroma users like me, but that aside, in my opinion, self-damage was a better mechanic to prevent the uncontrolled spamming than stagger, because, like I mentioned before, stagger can be nullified with mods and even some Warframe abilities. I also put out a video at the time asking people whether the removal of self-damage was really what the game needed, while bouncing around like Mario with my chroma, firing Bramma shots directly at the ground, killing everything that was anywhere near the explosion radius, and giving YouTube a bad time trying to compress the rainbow particle puke without destroying the video quality, which it failed at. That kind of mindless gameplay is still achievable today, as of making this video at least. I was convinced that DE was gonna nerf the Bramma to the ground because it was straight up silly, which they attempted to by drastically reducing the ammo count, but that didn't really stop anyone who had this thing lying around, and then they made it so that the Bramma only got 1 unit of ammo per cache regardless of the type. It still didn't stop enough people, obviously. So surprise, surprise, they're gonna attempt to nerf it again, but with way more effort than last time. It's not just the Bramma, AoE weapons in general are getting nerfed. You can expect to lose the ability to kill enemies through walls with changes to how AoE damage from weapons gets applied to enemies that are not in line of sight, which is kinda what made the Kuva Grappler such a crazy fun weapon to use for me. It wasn't mentioned during the last dev stream, but I think it would be safe to say that the Kuva Grappler is also gonna get a downgrade, probably. That aside, the ammo system in-game is also getting an overhaul. All those colorful caches that look like candy on the floor are being tossed into the bin, and in their place will just be primary and secondary ammo caches. Just 2 types, and they won't drop as frequently either. Stuff like the drop rate, ammo replenish amount, and all that are getting tweaked in a way to discourage spamming powerful weapons like the Bramma. And if that wasn't enough, they might potentially nerf my beloved primed sure-footed in a way that stagger from weapons would not count and, you know, still cause stagger. Which I keep telling people to adapt to changes. I'd be okay with this if they also made it so that primed sure-footed guaranteed 100% resistance against all types of enemy knockbacks and staggers. No exceptions, because finding out you wasted a mod slot is annoying. Of course, if we all had our way, we'd like to have the most powerful weapons all the time with no consequences, but really, one would argue that that sort of power creep will lead you to boring, unengaging gameplay pretty quick. For me, if they can maintain the Kuva Bramma's destructive power, but make it difficult or near impossible to abuse with all the ammo and AoE tweaks, which does sound difficult, then I think that's fair balancing, provided nothing else gets destroyed. So what do you guys think? Are you someone who loves using the Kuva Bramma, or do you not even care for AoE weapons and actually prefer other stuff over it? Feel free to share down in the comments. I'm curious to see what your answers are gonna be. Alright, links in the description if you'd like to join the Discord server or help support me in running this channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.